If you dream of furthering your voiceover career and making a name for yourself in the industry, then sometimes living far from the big city can be quite disheartening. I remember feeling the same way during my childhood when I was all the way out on the border of the Free State province. What I've come to learn in the nearly 10 years of being in the voiceover industry is that the new wave of technology has dramatically changed how business is done for voiceovers and in fact other fields as well. In the past, you had to physically be present at the studio and you'd have to use tapes and all sorts of ancient equipment to actually do the recording, and the editing process was quite a nightmare. These days it's much easier. Recently, I recorded a voiceover ad for Cartoon Network. The client was at their head office in Paris, communicating with me and listening in on the session from France, while I was recording from a studio here in Johannesburg, here in South Africa. In another occasion, I went to see family in the Eastern Cape village. We were in a primitive area with little network coverage and even no running water. I got a request for a voiceover from a Johannesburg-based radio station. Fortunately, I had brought my recording equipment with me, so I recorded the voiceover when I was alone in the car next to a quiet area near the forest. I edited the recording with my laptop, drove up the hill for a little better network coverage, and just like that, I sent them the email with the voiceover. Oh, and with the invoice attached, of course. I must say, technology has really changed how business is done. So even if you live in a remote area, far from all the hustle and bustle of the big city life, you can still live your dream and take part in the multi-million-dollar industry. Often people ask me questions like, where do I start? Which doors do I knock on once I'm done with the training? Others would ask, can one make a decent living from voiceovers and do them almost every day? To answer these questions, I've gone from city to city around the country, training hundreds of ordinary South Africans to have extraordinary voices and helping them launch their voiceover careers and live their dream. So some of them come from remote areas in the country and others are students, and while others work full-time jobs. It just goes to show that anyone at any age can get started. Because of the high demand of the voiceover workshop that I was doing face-to-face, I've had to sit down with my team and dedicate nearly half the year to develop a comprehensive voiceover masterclass that can be learned online from anywhere in the world. I'm quite excited to announce that that process is done. We have opened up the industry for anyone at any age, any race, and any location to #live your dream. Now you can take charge and get started with your voiceover career. The content covered in the online masterclass is exactly the same as the face-to-face private masterclass. The content takes 30 days to consume with the online masterclass, and it costs less than the private voiceover masterclass. You'll have access to webinars, discussion forums, assignments, quizzes, and all of these, of course, designed to help you retain as much information as possible and learn to master the art of articulation. During the course, you'll also be able to send us voice notes of your attempts at certain scripts. You'll get feedback and support throughout your journey. At the end of the workshop, you'll get a certificate of completion and be added to our community of voiceover artists that are getting ongoing mentorship, guidance, and voiceover opportunities. So let's get started today. Click on the link on the screen to take your voiceover career to the next level.